Hello, everybody. Dr. Phil here. This is going to be a video on marketing analytics. So, looking at business and data analytics, but more in the focus of marketing. Let's talk about marketing first. So, what is marketing? So, marketing is more formally defined as the activity, set of institutions, and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. It can include, number one, developing a product or service. Number two, making potential customers aware of the product and service. Very important, obviously. Number three, making customers want the product and service. That's very important, obviously. And number four, selling the product service to customers. So the marketing mix refers to the key choices that a company makes to bring a product or service to market. It consists of the four P's, the famous four P's of marketing, or maybe I should say the infamous four P's of marketing. Number one, product, the good or service offered to customers. Number two, the price, amount a customer pays for the product. Number three, place, where the product is sold, also called the marketing channels. And number four, promotion, all marketing communication strategies, techniques used to convince customers that they need the product at the specified price. So here we see some types of marketing questions. Just a couple. So if we look at like business analytics type, descriptive could be, again, what happened, what is happening. So if we look at product, like how many units were sold in the period. For price, what was the average price of the product each month? For place, how many units were sold in each region? And for promotion, what is the monthly expenditure on promotions for each product line? For diagnostic, which of course is why did it happen? So for product, why did sales volume change from last period? For price, an example could be how and why did units sold change when we lowered the price of a product? For place, why did sales decrease in one region but increase in another region? And for promotion, why did web page views change? So just examples of, how these questions, descriptive and diagnostic types of questions, can be applied to each of these the four P's, if you will. But predictive, again, predictive is what will happen in the future. So for product, just to pick one out, what products will customers buy together in the future? Price, what are the estimated unit sales and total sales revenue for a price change? Place, what will unit sales be based on season and location? An important one there. And for promotion, after brand repositioning, what results should be expected? For prescriptive, again, the underlying, the base question there is what should we do based on what we expect will happen? So what features of the product should be changed to maximize sales revenue? That would be one for product. A question for price. What is the optimal price to charge for a product if we want to increase sales volume? For place, an example could be what is the optimal product assortment at each store? And then for promotion, how can we best target promotions? So here we see some data sources for marketing, and we've kind of split this into internal versus external marketing data. So internal marketing data could come from the company's ERP, the Enterprise Resource Planning System, where they could pull like sales transactions and pricing data as one example. They could also get data which hopefully they can turn into information from their CRM, customer relationship management system. Customer loyalty programs could be one, and then company websites with any web analytics built in. As far as external marketing data goes, social media with social media analytics, the weather, culture, laws, business environments, the various free and for-profit websites about the economy, business conditions, customer preferences, population trends, and customer demographics. A customer journey map. So the idea of a customer journey is a visual representation of the experience that a customer has with a company, showing all of a customer's interactions or touch points with the company. And this could combine internal and or external data. So the customer journey analytics is going to track and analyze how customers use different channels to interact with a company across time, and it helps companies determine which touch points are best at increasing revenue. So here we see some statistical techniques for marketing descriptive analytics. So just to pick a couple out, if we look at like counts, the purpose is to determine the frequency of occurrence. So, how many people visited our website, How many website visitors didn't purchase any products? If we look at, say, ratios, we're going to compare two numbers. So what is the company website bounce rate in January? That is, how many website visitors enter the company website and then immediately leave. So descriptive statistics, obviously they are describing things, right? So they're answering the questions of what happened and what is happening. So here we see exhibit that deals with summary statistics for Lego set releases from quite a big time period here, 1949 to 2021 from rebrickable.com. And as you see, generated by Excel. So we have a lot of information here. We have the mean, we have the standard error, the median, the mode, standard deviation, all the way down to the minimum and the maximum values and the sum and the count. So again, a lot of value in descriptive statistics. KPIs, key performance indicators. So these are numerical metrics used to gauge company performance. They're an integral part of descriptive and diagnostic analytics for marketing. Now, each company determines which KPIs are the most crucial and desired breakdown. So, for example, channel, product, region, or store. Some common marketing KPIs could be sales revenue, leads for potential customers, customer lifetime value, customer acquisition cost, return on marketing investment, ROMI. And then maybe looking at the website, things like traffic, page views, session duration, bounce rate, cart abandonment rate, conversion rate, etc. Also, perhaps year over year or Y over Y, year over year growth, and then churn, customers who stopped using a service or product. Diagnostic analytics are broken down into two broad categories to help determine why something happened. So identifying the first is identifying anomalies and outliers, something different than we expected, and then finding previously unknown linkages, patterns, or relationships between the variables. So there's kind of two main ways that we can do that. We could perform what's called a root cause analysis, and we could also perform statistical analyses. So as we see here, we're looking at identifying anomalies and outliers. So what is the expectation? So we have our 4 Ps. We have, if we look at like product, our most popular product will continue to sell well. That's the expectation. The anomaly is the product sales are dropping. So, and then here we see some explanations for the anomaly. So maybe a competitor introduced a similar product with more features for about the same price. Or perhaps a recession reduced customers' discretionary income. That would, of course, be important when you're dealing with like wants versus needs, right? Luxuries versus necessities. And then if we just pick another one, let's just pick place. The expectation is that the sales of a product will be the same at all stores. The anomaly would be that one store suddenly sells less product than the other stores. And then possible explanations for this anomaly: a new mall was built nearby. As a result, traffic at the store has decreased. Would make sense. Or perhaps road construction made getting to the store difficult. Or perhaps both. So root cause analysis. So this determines what factors caused a change. We distinguish between the root cause, unrelated factors, correlated factors, which can be symptoms, contributing factors in the chain of events. And this is sort of an example of, what you see on the right here, this graphic is kind of an example of how we might do that. And you can see we have the process, we have the, price affections, we have the product, we have the promotion, and we have the place. So with respect to correlation, so just think of correlation as like how related are two things to each other. That's kind of like a good way to think about correlation. A sales funnel details kind of the steps in the sales process. If we look at like the first thing the customer would do is land at lego.com. They would select the shop, select the subcategory, fill the shopping cart, and then complete the purchase. So we're sort of like starting at the top, and then we're just kind of like working our way down this funnel, if you will. Predictive analytics are going to help us answer the questions: what will happen in the future? Thinking about like predicting. What is the probability something will happen? Can we forecast what will happen? And using historical data and user-specified algorithms, which are human instructions on how to combine the data, we can look at things that might happen, what the likelihood is they'll happen, and perhaps we can use that to, allocate resources and help determine various states of nature. So here we see techniques addressing marketing questions. So we have our statistical techniques for predictive analysis, classification, a decision tree, and a regression. And then you can see some examples of the uses, and you can see some examples of the marketing question. So if we look at example, the decision tree. So the use would be that it predicts a specific dependent or outcome variable based on a pathway that includes all action points with associated probabilities. The marketing question might be, well, which marketing activities will generate more sales? So then we could sort of use the decision tree, if you will, to sort of help us with that. So here's an example of a decision tree. So it shows us various outcomes from different or sequential decisions. So if we say, well, should we expand Lego offerings? So we could design new offerings, or we could just try to strengthen existing product lines. And then you can see how this is broken down probabilistically, right? If we choose strengthen existing product lines, then 75% chance there's an increase in sales, 25% chance there's no change in sales. So we've got a 75-25 split there. If we go with the decision to design new product offerings, 45% chance there's no new products, 40% chance of one new product, and then 15% chance of many new products. Now, prescriptive analytics help us answer the questions, what should we do based on what we expect to happen? And how do we optimize our performance based on potential constraints? Because remember, no company has unlimited resources, right? They have finite resources and they have to determine how best to use those resources. So prescriptive analytics kind of helps us recommend a course of action. So some examples that we could see here. We've got some statistical techniques for prescriptive analysis on the left, like cash flow analysis, goal seek, scenario, sensitivity, so on and so forth. So if we just pick let's just pick like one of these, let's do cash flow analysis, right? So evaluates future cash flows for potential investments or expenditures. It typically uses NPV, net present value, or internal rate of return, IRR. So the example marketing question might be, in which marketing campaign should the company invest? Because obviously the company wants to make sure that they not only make money, but they want to achieve a certain rate of return that their stockholders are looking for. If you go to the finance playlist, you will find videos that I've done on net present value and internal rate of return, if it helps. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in a future video.